Hello everyone. So I started a new video because I'm trying to make short videos, which means, well, that's a heart right there, made of rocks. Which means maybe between 5 and 10 minutes, or not more than 20 or 30 minutes. Sometimes I lose track of time. But how interesting would it be if, when we thought of something, let's say we came to an awareness about something, right? There's two significant things I'd like to mention right now. Let's say we come to an awareness of something. Let's say we come to the awareness that, oh, like a really long time ago and consistently throughout time and throughout history, we've learned and confirmed that our internal combustion engines do not use the carbon to run the engine. So carbon has nothing to do with it. It's completely irrelevant. And the only thing we need is hydrogen. And we have a whole ocean of hydrogen, not just in the sea, what we call water, which is a stoichiometric, perfect, equal balance burn, which is all you need for combustion, right? Now, everyone on the internet, it's very unpopular for people to talk about, oh, and this is all artificial intelligence saying this, right? I don't think it is. But like, oh, you need all this energy to break the molecule apart. Do you know how much energy is put into oil to make it gasoline? Look at that moon. If we put a fraction of that energy into water, we could burn water as a fuel. I'm going to do some experiments with burning water. I know people, it's already been done all over the internet. You just apply, like, you use silver, and you have to experiment with different kinds of silver, and you put water in silver. Let's say you have a silver cup or a silver spoon. You touch it with a low current, so like maybe less than 500 milliamps, which is half an amp or less, and the voltage can be anywhere from, like, I don't know, like 3 volts or up to 12 volts, somewhere in there. And when you touch the silver with that voltage, right, DC, direct current voltage, something happens to the water, right? The silver and water interact with one another, and it allows the water to burn. Now, in the way I just described it, you can't use that as a fuel, but you can burn it. It makes for a fun, like for a magic show, like if you're doing a magic show, to entertain people. It's entertaining, right? Right away, people are like, oh, let's put it in the engine and make it run the engine. Well, to do that, you have to do more than that. You have to do more. There was a scientist, very serious man. There's many of them, but one man was experimenting with. He made like what I'll call a membrane. It makes me think of the a catalytic converter, the way it looked like a honeycomb. And you would put the water in the system and apply, I think, similar, like a low voltage, low current. But the structure of this material, and I think possibly the material as well, had something to do with it. There's another heart. Let's see where this goes. Hopefully I can get out of this with my map if I get lost. So anyway, they would allow the water to be able to use, it would structure the water molecule. And that's what the gentleman was saying. He was saying that you can restructure water. And we do this with drinking water. Like, we restructure water, right? You could read up on structured water. There was a lot of research being done on it for a long time. I know some people are still researching it. And the things never go away. Like, they say nothing's more powerful than an idea whose time has come, right? But what has happened throughout history is people like to sell their ideas for a lot of money. And to me, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, right? So the one thing was, imagine if when we make a realization about something that is good, if we just embraced it. I don't mean just embraced it. If we actually put our resources into making that happen, like we invested in lithium, right? But lithium, let me put the light down now. Lithium is it is highly explosive when it gets in contact, or it burns like 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. It burns really hot when in contact with the atmosphere, with oxygen, right? I have no idea where I am right now. But I do have my phone. And my phone does have a map on it. I don't know if the maps work up here. These hills are like up or down, one or the other. Look how steep this is. So now I'm sitting way on the back of the EUC to make sure I don't pick up too much speed. Wow, where in the world am I? How do I pick these very strange paths? Look at that rut. Wow, look how this just goes down, and it's steep too. I mean, if I keep going down this, one of my questions is that I have for myself, rhetorical question, is does it lead to a road somewhere? And sure enough, here's a road. Well, that's kind of nice that we found a road. I don't know where this goes. Should I go up just to see where it goes? See, my wheel, my tire got stuck in that line right there, and I read that a knobby tire is more forgiving. I think that's the right word to use. See how my light got less bright when I slow down, and then when I speed up it gets brighter? So if that was a street tire, that may have made me crash. That's what it makes me think. I may have crashed right there. I really don't know where I am right now. I don't think I've ever seen this before. We may have come through here on a group ride. Now that goes somewhere. I don't know where though. Authorized vehicles only. I just don't know where these go. I think I'm going to stay on the main road, which I'm kind of happy to see. It's funny because I was just feeling like I really want to see a road. And right when I felt that strong feeling, there was one right there. And maybe that was me knowing somehow, right, because everything's connected, that there was a road coming up, and I was feeling that, I was sensing that, and I'm like, yes, I want the road, I want the road. What road are we on now? I do not know. But I have lots of range, full battery. See, I could go up there, but I don't know what that is. Gosh, I have no idea where this is. I mean, I know hikers just go everywhere, right? Oh, wait a second. This looks a little bit familiar. Let me check something real quick. This might be... I might know this area. That's so funny. I just turned on this road. And I think I know what this is. Okay, what I'm going to do is, just because I want to simplify all this, I want to go to an area that I know. Yeah, I know where I am right now. I'm going to go back down and go into the park in a different area, because I don't know how to get to the area I'm more familiar with from here on the dirt roads. But if I go on the street, I know how to get to a different part of the park. Oh, wait a second. What am I saying? What am I saying? I do know where to go here. Gosh, it's so funny how the mind works. I know where I am right now. I'm a little bit confused how I suddenly arrived here, because I didn't know I can get to here from up there where I was. I'm not sure how I got over here, but that's okay. So essentially I went from somewhere I had no idea where I was when I think I came down that hill up there, up that way, and then this is where I usually will ride. This will take us to the Griffith Observatory. There may be bicycles coming through here at high speed. I'm talking about 40 or 50 miles an hour on a bicycle that is not electric. But these guys are racers, they race. They know how to go fast. And when they're going downhill, they can maximize their speed. So tomorrow's ride is called Turnbull, or I think it's called Turnbull. I think it's Turnbull. Now exactly where we're going and where we're meeting and what time, I don't have all the specifics, but or if I do, I forgot what they are. But that's a ride happening Thursday, which is tomorrow. Guess I could sit down now, since I'm practicing sitting down, right? Okay, there we go. And this path was repaved, many parts of it, and I'm happy to see that, because I know many people that were hospitalized from this path because of the bumps, the holes in the road. And when you're going fast down this hill, which is what bicycles do, they don't necessarily know everything about where the holes are. Some people memorize everything, but other people that are new may not know. And it's easy to get really hurt. You can break bones and get really, really hurt. So there's a lot of ways to dismiss people in life, like to just dismiss someone's idea or their philosophy or their ideas about electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, inventions, to the technologies that we're building to build that future every day, right? That we're building. But my question that I have for myself is that I reflect on sometimes, or often, is how can I imagine what someone's sharing with me? And how can I learn to see it? What questions can I ask to help me to see what someone's sharing with me, right? And remember, if we say impossible, that really is irrelevant. And it seems to me like what's important is, as long as no one's trying to hurt anyone else or themselves, it seems like it's important to support people's ideas. Because I think that's what we're doing here, is we're here to support each other, right? But it's so strange, it's the feeling of being on this planet and not traveling anywhere else out of our solar system. Like, we talk about going to planets in our solar system, and I'm thinking to myself, that's great, but what about the rest of the universe? And especially when we have the technologies. And then people claim that, I'll say it that way, like, oh, well, it'll happen when it's time. So imagine if when we learned something and we knew it, right? Because we studied it and we knew how things work, right? At least a glimpse of it, like a pretty good glimpse. Imagine if we built those ideas. And in many ways we do that, like cell phones are here, computers. Where we don't do it is in personal space travel. And that's absolutely like a requirement. Like, we need that. We need to have the same freedom to travel the universe the way that we can get in our car and drive around the city or country or world, right? Because we could have our cars shipped to different parts of the world, or there's many ways to get a car moved around, or you can just buy a car somewhere else, right? Many options. So, but one thing to keep in mind is that, because some people blame their schooling, they say, well, school is teaching me right now that this is how it is, and that's all there is. And somehow people are getting the confidence. Imagine being confident about the statement, something's impossible, because it doesn't match, or you can't see how it relates to what you're learning in school. I would have to say that if the education, I wouldn't want to blame the professors, but if the education is so arrogant to claim that what you're learning is the absolute final word, and it also puts you as an authority to say what is possible and what's not possible, not just based on your education, but just as an absolute definitive perception. I don't know what to say about that, because that's not reality. That's not reality, right? And when they talk about, oh, nothing's real, we proof the universe isn't real, it's like, okay, what does that mean, and what are we talking about? I mean, what I'm hearing is we just discovered a way to realize that all the things we know and think are just a glimpse of the surface of understanding of what reality actually is. So I have been invited to be among many great minds in my life. And even when I was in school, I love groups, okay? I'm a collaborator. I love working with people. I like collaborating. I'm not like, oh, I want to be myself, just leave me alone. I'm not like that. I mean, we all have time that we might want to have a break or something, but I'm talking about like a team player, like working together, right? And I lost my train of thought. Oh, being among people that share a passion for, I'll just say, building the impossible. That's really irrelevant, because impossible, it just doesn't even exist. So saying impossible and saying, well, we're going to build the impossible, it's like, what are we talking about? But that's exciting to some people, like, oh, well, this is an impossible thing, so that's exciting, let's do it. Okay, I mean, that's fine. But my thoughts are, how do we work together, right? How can I work with groups? And do I have to necessarily join a group, right? Do I have to join a group? Do I have to leave the planet? Do I have to... I don't know. One of the things I was told about groups, right, is that if you join our group... Now this sounds very arrogant, but I don't mean it to be arrogant, okay? I'm just sharing thoughts with you. This is my journal here. Let's say I join a group, a very elite group, I'll call it, okay? Now there's many of those, I know. You can make your own elite group too. You can just make one up right now. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about groups that are really, really ancient. Now let's say you join an elite group of thinkers and doers and builders, right? And I said, what happens to all the friends you have before? You know, the friends you used to have. And I guess you just make new friends, right? I don't know. Is that how it works? Like, do you just no longer talk to your old friends? And how do you join something that you can't find out what it is until you join it? It's like, but you kind of have a sense of what it is, right? Anyway, so growing up, this is something I used to think about a lot. Now I'm just kind of reviewing some thoughts I've had in my life. And I guess maybe it's on my mind right now because I'm thinking, who can I work with to build things? Like, I'd like to build a water fuel cell to supplement or to help increase the combustion efficiency of the car I drive, right? But then I think, well, do I even want to drive a gas car, or do I want to get an electric car and put alternators on it? Imagine putting alternators on your electric car. I'm really surprised more people don't do that. Okay, let's start a new video and we'll talk about that a little bit. Stop recording. Stop recording.